touchdown and lose your games by a combined 86-22, and you already had very shoddy footing on that mountain. Tier 7, red means you've moved down the mountain, green means you've moved up, though the blue means you've stayed in the same spot.
How?
Deshaun and Justin Fields, if we're being honest, looked really, really shaky throwing the football. Meanwhile, I thought all three rookies played a little better than I expected, particularly Anthony Richardson. I didn't think any of them played great, but I thought they were better than you expected given the competition or in their first appearance. Tier 6
was horrible. Every time I watched Howell, he started running out of the pocket, and I was like, oh, here comes another turnover.
You're a favorite at home to lose the way they did. That's rough.
Every ball he threw.
Jordan Love, Baker, and Russ all move up one spot on the mountain.
Russ?
All either get actual victories or in Russ and McCorkle's case, moral victories.
Gino played
it was
horrible.
close. Derek Carr stays just where he is. He had good numbers. He also got very fortunate. Your guy Vrabel kind of got screwed, coach, by a very odd non-overturn on what was a red
fumble
zone
recovery.
fumble 6 the other direction.
Yeah.
Carr stays where he is. Tier 5. Lamar was shaky and concerning. And Justin Herbert, guys,
yeah, he should have torched the Texans. OBJ had like what? He didn't have a catch until like the third quarter or something.
Throwing the ball down the field has to be his decision. We got in a new offensive coordinator. We did all these things, and still it's just dink and dunks with the guy with a rocket arm. He's got to do more. It was that perfect Kurt game. Some of the numbers, 300 yards, touchdowns, looks great, and then it's like, oh, that terrible red zone pick, the fumbles, he stays where he is. Brock Purdy and Jimmy G, the mountain is fair. The mountain can be cruel, but the mountain is fair. Brock Purdy and Jimmy G earned a spot up the mountain. Tier 4.
Good fact.
Stafford and Goff, surprised and impressed. They go up a bit. Josh Allen, he is, I'll be honest with you, we glanced over the mountain before the segment. He is barely holding on to his spot. He might drop
stays where he is.
And Aaron Rodgers, we're leaving where he was before, out of respect. Tier 3.
Out of respect.
Hurts and Dak, not incredibly impressive, but both their teams were up 16-0 with defensive touchdowns immediately, so it felt like they just needed to not crash the car. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow did crash the car.
Yeah,
out of respect
Joe
to
Burrow
him, he
was
has not
horrible.
fallen further down the mountain. And then Tier 2. Shout out to Tua Tagovailoa. Shout out to the Prince. Both were exceptional. The two best quarterback performances, in my opinion, of week
Tua
1.
played insanely
two
good.
Gentlemen. And then, of course, at the top of the mountain is Patrick Mahomes. Caleb, once again, did you see him this week? 2 incompletions, just a half. He was great. And I dare someone to question Mahomes' place at the top of Mahomes Mountain. And real quick, before you go, Coach, Miles, remember how earlier I said I have 3 types of opinions, the second of which are eventually unquestionably correct? Remember a few months ago when I said there is no argument against Trevor Lawrence being top 5 quarterback? You guys laughed at me, got mad. Anyone want to make the argument against that today? Because I asked Hubs who your guys' issues were on the mountain, and nobody said Trevor. It's very interesting. I think the Trevor Lawrence mountaintop spot is secure.
You beat the Colts barely.
Oh well, anyone? I'd love to hear who they are.
Barely.
I'd love to hear who they are, Coach. Let me hear your compliments on the mountains.
The mountain it's a nice segment.
Yeah.
And the bias.
That's all.
The bias
It's on a nice
is so
mountain.
incredible. The Prince is going to stay there no matter what, because that's.
Didn't he play great?
You anointed him so long ago. And you throw Daniel Jones off the mountain, and there was not a lot of good things from that game. But let's just look at it realistically.
Okay.
They're behind. The Cowboys are able to tee off.
Yeah.
He's hit 12 times. He's sacked 7 times. Those aren't all his fault by any stretch of the imagination. They're way behind, and let's look at the comparison between him and your boy Dak.
Yeah.
Dak had 143 yards passing. He had 104. Okay, so there's only 39 more yards passing with everything going right. With every possible thing going right.
Run this past me.
This is
Coach. He threw 2 picks and fumbled twice.
But your bias against Daniel Jones is so over the top.
They lost 49.
Micah
Parsons wanted him out of the game for his own safety.
I guess he should be on the field goal team. I guess he should be on defense. At some point, someone's got to have to block for him.
I'll tell you that much. Hey, Coach.
The difference of 39 yards gets you up 18 different levels.
Not the difference of 39 yards.
And 39 yards less gets you thrown off.
Coach,
quarterback wins.
It's not just 39 yards. I remind the audience.
It's 39
One of my favorites, it is 39 yards, but that is not what hurt him. If all you do is spike the football, your passer rating for that game is 39.2. Daniel Jones's passer rating for that game was 32.4. Literally would have been better spiking the ball.
There was not a lot of good happening.
Yeah.
But when you
mostly
look,
when he had the ball.
But if you
he would have been better saying hike
and
throwing the ball on the ground every single play. How is that even
39
possible?
yards more. Everything goes right, and he's missing wide open throws, but somehow he stays on top of the ball.
You know what? I'm glad Greg Jennings wasn't here this week to defend himself. I'm glad Coach did it for him.
Greg, I'm looking out for you, Greg.
Great job.
They had that like 10-second clip of Greg yesterday. That was hilarious.
But I'm not sure of the rules. I'm not sure how we're deciding.
Name me 5 quarterbacks better.
It's inherent bias,
name
and then
me
everything
5
else.
quarterbacks. If you name me 5 quarterbacks you think are better, I'll give you $100.
Now, I'm just saying I don't know the rules, but I'm gonna focus on your boy Geno. Geno should have kept dropping. I would switch Geno Smith and Deshaun Watson. All right, Coach brought up the yards. Deshaun, he didn't look great throwing the football, but he did throw for more yards than your boy Dak. At least he threw for.
It was really raining bad.
And here's the thing.
That's why Burrow only fell 1 tier.
Deshaun ran the ball well, threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, ran for 45 yards, and also I saw his swagger back. Now we'll see what that means, but I thought the way he handled himself on the field, he was celebrating when he scored. I like that. I think he's kind of coming out of a shell again, and I think he could play well. And Geno, Nick, I told you guys, I told you don't get on the bandwagon, all right? He's turned back into a pumpkin, okay? Now look at these numbers from his last 7 games. First 12, 7-5, 108 passer rating, 22-6 TD interceptions. Look at the last 7. They're 2-5. He's got an 86 passer rating. The yards per pass isn't great. Turnover, TD to interceptions, struggling. You know what that graphic says to me? It says early on, we had forgotten about Geno Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't have any tape on him, any film. We didn't know what he likes to do. Once we got some tape, we started looking at what he does, taking away what he does well, making him be uncomfortable, and they're 2-5.
All right, Brew, I have a question for you. Because I didn't know this is who you were going to talk about, so I'm prepared. What do you think Deshaun Watson's last 7 games graphic would look like? You think it'd be
probably not good? Not good. Last year he was rusty after a year.
And this year he was terrible.
He was
16 of 29.
They beat a legit Super Bowl contender.
Okay, I'm happy for this.
Bad. Bad. Like that can't be understated enough.
This is not the week,
and it's not today's NFL. Not just
like they whooped the Bengals.
He ran it well.
Okay, first of all, on Deshaun, he threw for 154 yards, had a 67 rating, and skipped four passes in the dirt like a second baseman. That's first of all.
I didn't put him on tier 3. I'm just saying he's better than Geno.
Second of all, Wilds.
Yeah.
I know Mahomes Mountain is relatively new.
Yes.
But is this just the weekly, hey, here are the best performances of week 1?
That's not what it is.
Where can you find that?
It seems like
it's just willy-nilly.
No, if you want that, go to pick up a USA Today.
They have it. It's right there. It's next to the crossword and the Garfield.
Mahomes Mountain.
Yes.
You have to kind of feel Mahomes Mountain. You're like, this feels okay. It's a little bit of the performance. It's a little bit of vestigial where you belong.
On to something when you said it's like the college football AP top 25. Where you were going into the week has an impact on where you are given your performance. It is that type of methodology plus the proprietary Mahomes Mountain.
See what he's doing.
If Georgia,
no way Daniel Jones is
fall off the mountain, they just
not better than any of those guys.
Yeah, so Alabama right now should be out of the top 25.
No.
Exactly. Give me a break. Go ahead.
Howell is criminal.
My guy Mac Jones.
He moved up.
I want him to move
really
up
Baker
a
over Daniel
little
Jones?
bit higher.
Where?
Just move him up a little bit. First of all, he's a Pro Bowler, so he shouldn't be on the bottom rung.
Well, he's not on the bottom rung anymore. He's on the 6th.
He had the 4th most yards, 316 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns. Only people that did that were Tua and Jordan Love, who's also down there. And then who is it against? A bunch of tomato cans? No, it's against this Eagles defense. Most passing yards versus the Eagles in the last 3 years. Wow. Herbert with his rocket arm. Dak, who you all of a sudden love so much. Derek Carr and Mac Jones. I want him to move up a little bit. I just want a fair shake.
Hold on. Can we show the mountain again? First of all, I would like to know who you would replace him with. Who would you move down to move him up?
Jimmy.
Tell me. You don't have it. That's fine. So the next question is
Lamar's
this.
got an MVP. Don't get me wrong.
Wait.
Lamar.
Oh, you're going to move Matt.
He's ahead of Lamar?
I mean, Kirk Cousins is right there for
I barely understand the mountain. I'm just saying Lamar
You
himself.
were an expert on the mountain 2 minutes ago.
Second,
It's tricky. It's like art.
Yeah,
man.
no
See
way
it
he
one
said
time.
Lamar.
A little bit higher than that. I agree.
Higher. All right, so you guys are moving Kirk Cousins down. That's fine. That's the only one you could argue. I know you're not moving your beloved Jimmy G or Brock Purdy down. But here's the second question I have for you.
Match
Wives.
about.
Yeah.
I'd move Jimmy.
I am not, and the mountain is not, a quarterback wins guy.
No.
But that side of the table, what we call the Neanderthal side of the table, they're like quarterback wins.
Yeah.
Did Mac win this week?
Moral victory.
Okay. All right.
That counts as a win.
Okay.
And Dak's only up there because he won.
What?
Coach just spelled it
Dak
out.
is up there because that's where he was, and he did not deserve to move down.
They're going to win a lot of games.